I stopped running ads for my music, and here's what happened. Hey, it's John here at Hyped It, and in this video I want to talk about what happened when I stopped all my music ads. And I'm posting this video in response to a great question that was posted as a comment on one of my prior videos, and this question came from Kara, and Kara said, John, I'd be really interested to see what happens to your music when you stop running ads. I understand this is your business, so you're learning the ins and out and promoting it, but for the rest of us, this is first, very, very expensive. Second, not really what we want to do long term. Guess my question is, how long are people supposed to keep running ads before they can let their fan base carry them and the algorithm to push them out to more people? And as I read Kara's question, it so happened that I in fact did turn off all my ad, and I want to share with you what happened. But before we jump in, hit the subscribe and like button and the bell icon below so that you can get more videos like this on YouTube that help you reach a bigger audience and more fans for your music. Now, when it comes to ads, I'm typically all in all the time, but there is one exception, and this is when I turn off all my ad campaigns. I have done this over the last 2 years, and I've always done it at the same time, which is from about mid-November to the end of December and the beginning of January. The reason I've turned off my ads at the end of the last 2 years is because this is when ad cost is typically at its highest point of the year. It's the holiday season, so you have a lot of advertisers come into the market, blowing their budget, promoting Christmas gifts or other holiday gifts and holiday events and what have you. And it makes for a really crowded marketplace for independent music artists like us. And then the second part is that during the holiday season, most people want to listen to holiday music. So it is very difficult to break through the noise, so to speak, if your music isn't holiday themed, which my music isn't. I don't have any holiday songs. And so to preserve budget, I moved to the sidelines. I saved that money so that I can jump back in strong in January. Now, because I did in fact turn off my ads, I figured that's an amazing opportunity to answer Kara's question and show you exactly what happened to my audience, what happened to my listeners the moment I turned off my ads. To show you my monthly listeners, I hopped into Songstats, because Songstat has a really cool feature which allows you to pick and analyze very specific periods of time in your activity, right? So it has a lot more flexibility than Spotify for artists in that regard. And the time period that I picked here is from sort of end of September through all the way where we are right now. And what we want to look at is where I was at the beginning of November, which is just before turning off the ads. So you can see here on November 9th, the monthly listeners were 22,600. The week before 23,800, and then the week after 22,500. So, let's call it 22,700 here. And this is when the ads were turned off. And what you see as a result of this is you see the numbers slowly dropping. And the low point here is about first week in January, where I'm hovering, just around, it looks like 19,000 listeners. So if you do the math, it looks like I lost between 3,000 to 4,000 monthly listeners during this time period where I shut off the ads. And the question this might bring up then is, why only 3,000 to 4,000? Why didn't this drop a lot further down? Turning off the ads, you could expect maybe the numbers go all the way down. And to answer that, let me hop over into Spotify for Artists now. Because in Spotify for Artists, we can look at the source of the streams. We can understand where the activity is coming from. And I'm actually flipped to the listeners tab over here, last 28 days. And if I just hover over here, you can see exactly where the streams that I'm getting, where they're coming from. And what stands out here is that there are two lines, right? That green line and the purple line that are on top of the graph that are a lot higher than everything else. So let's take a look at what those are. So the green line, the biggest contributor of listeners are listeners' own playlists and library here with 1,173. And second, the purple line is radio and autoplay, 1,014. Everything else is much lower. And you might be wondering, John, where's the number for the ads? Well, the ads are coming in and feeding a playlist and my artist profile. So the Ahrefs is actually the one that's listed under other listeners playlist, which is just 265 here. And then you have the artist profile and catalog, which is 62. And that's not 100% clear cut. There could obviously also be some organic visitors and fans revisiting my artist profile, be baked into those numbers. But the point here is that if you look at this distribution of where listeners are coming from, if I turn off the ads, there is no immediate impact on the listeners' own playlists and libraries, because these are listeners who found my music previously, saved them to their library, their liked songs, or to any of their playlists, and they just come back listening to my songs because they stream their own playlist. So there's no impact from the ads when I turn them off. And radio and autoplay, that's Spotify's algorithm helping me get my music heard. There's also no impact there from the ads. And that explains how even in a situation where the ads get turned off, there's only a very soft drop in the number of listeners, because the main sources of listeners here are not impacted by the ads. And by that I mean the ads I run right now. Obviously, a lot of the listeners that are now the biggest contributor to my listeners and my streams, that first category here, listeners, own playlists and library, those are all music fans who I found through ads, and then they came over to Spotify, and then they saved my music, then they added my music to their library. So the ads were essential in building up that audience, that real engaged audience that comes back to my music over and over again. But once you have that audience, turning off the ads for a couple of days here or there doesn't take that away. And to point out how valuable this is, right? This is something that you specifically build by promoting your music with ads on Facebook and Instagram and getting your music in front of die-hard fans. If, for example, you look at an artist profile that is running playlist promotion, these numbers will look very different. For artists that do playlist promotion, the biggest number is likely going to be other listeners' playlists. And that's the number that has no staying power, right? That's the number that you can turn on and turn off. And if you're off the playlist, that number drops like a stone. So clear advantage here, running ads, building a real audience of repeat listeners. Now you might be wondering, John, if this works so well after you turn off your ads, why do you still keep running ads for the rest of the year? And the answer is because that's how you build popularity. The key to success here is doing the thing that works over and over again, even after you see results from it. If you look at any big artist or big brand for that matter, they always run ads. They always promote themselves. Look at Coca-Cola or McDonald's, some of the most iconic and well-known brands in the world. They run ads all the time. And you might be wondering, why don't they stop? Everybody knows them already. And the answer is they keep running ads because that's exactly how they became the superstar brands that they are. By doing the thing that works over and over and over again, even after they see results. But this is easier said than done from the perspective of independent music artists like us, right? Because there are two big obstacles in the way for constant promotion and being omnipresent. One is money, one is time. Let's talk about money first, okay? Ads cost money and there's no way around it. But I'd say the best goal isn't so much to get to a point where ads wouldn't help you grow any further. They always will. The goal is more about building a system where the results, the benefits you're getting from your ads, help you fund your promotion, where essentially what you're getting out of it helps you to just pay for the ads. This is a really important topic, and I actually just recorded a video on this a couple days ago. Let me leave a link above to that video so you can check that out. But the second challenge a lot of independent music artists like us have is time. Launching and managing ads takes time. That's something I struggle with the most, and that's actually one of the reasons why me and the team at Hyped It here, we built the ability to run automated Facebook and Instagram campaigns for your music directly out of Hyped It without even having to enter Facebook Ads Manager. So when I talk about using software and AI to run Facebook ads, that's not me jumping on the AI hype that's going on. No, that's something we already worked on and then launched a year ago, even before ChatGPT broke. And it still blows my mind because it's just incredible what this technology can do for us and how much time it saves. And being efficient with your budget and your time is super critical. Look, most of us got into music because we're passionate about music, about making music, not because we're passionate about promoting music. Initially, that might even seem more like a necessary evil, but it's incredibly powerful. And I would argue that some of the most popular and recognized artists today aren't the ones with the greatest musical talent. They are the ones that are best at promoting themselves. Look, and I know this is a tough one. You don't have to like it. I was opposed to this idea that promotion matters more than your musical talent for a long time. But just because many of us don't like that idea, it doesn't make it go away. And so if you want to really break through and really become popular as an artist, you have to keep promoting yourself all the time. But do it in a way where you can fund your promotion budget from your own musical activities and save tons of time and energy by using software and AI to run these promo campaigns just for you. Both of which are also topics inside my Spotify Growth Switch training if you want to dive deeper on this. Want to get your music heard on Spotify with AI? I just launched a brand new video training program called the Spotify Growth Switch, where I show you how to start growing real listeners, real fans, and real streams on Spotify in less than 10 minutes using software and AI. I've used the Spotify Growth Switch system to now grow my music to over 7 million streams and tens of thousands of monthly listeners on Spotify. This works for any music genre. It gets you real fans and listeners super fast, and it's extremely easy to set up, literally just like flipping a spotlight switch for your music. Despite using AI, you don't need to know nothing about tech stuff in order to be successful with this. I've had the tremendous privilege of helping multiple tens of thousands of music artists grow their music on Spotify, many of which have grown to much larger numbers, lots more listeners, lots more streams than I have using the systems that I've taught. Makes me so proud of their success. And so if you want to get more real listeners, real fans, and real streams for your music fast using state-of-the-art software and AI, then click the link below this video and check out the Spotify Growth Switch. I can't wait to help you grow your music on Spotify, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside.